Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Sunday service of Now Creations. It's just a joy to be here with you, to be in the Spirit, to be in the knowing, to be in the light, to allow that energy to fill us, and to allow that love to come forth from us. Just a joy to be here with you this morning. This evening, if you're able to join us for New Earth by Eckhart Tolle, we invite you to join us from 6 to 7:30 this evening. And then tomorrow night, Monday, if you're able, please join us for our Monday night meditation. Let's begin. My dear friends, I continue to marvel at the progress that we are making and coming to know that there are two parts of us as a human being. The first part of us, of course, is our human, physical, worldly self. Let's just call it our humanity. And the second part is that eternal soul spirit self. Let's call that our divinity. That part of us that is not only made in the image and likeness of God, but also that part of us that has not left our source. We are still connected. Our daily goal is to merge these two related aspects of ourself into one entity. Therefore, the topic of today's teaching is entitled Mergings. Mergings. The merging of our humanity and our divinity into one beautiful unity. Again, you might want to take some notes today. But before I begin, let me recall just a brief conversation I had with one of our members this week. She said, I am showing up in the fullness of myself. I am showing up in the fullness of myself. That's what we want, to show up as a blend of our humanity and our divinity. I will begin with a passage from Jesus from A Course in Mastering Alchemy, and then proceed to be able to describe the first part of the merging, that first part of us, which will help us to understand our divinity. And that is a part of our soul merging higher with greater energies. And then next week, I'll focus on our humanity merging with the soul in outward manifestation. It sounds like a lot, but we'll take it step by step, slowly, yet clearly, helping us to understand that we are a divine human. Again, I'll encourage you to take some notes. Let's begin with a passage of Jesus from A Course in Mastering Alchemy. On page 307, he comments on how he merges his divine individual self into the divine collective, merging his divine individual self, his soul self, into the divine collective. He states that as we begin to merge our divine individual into the divine collective, that there is an ebb and a flow at the beginning. Sometimes it's easier, sometimes it's more difficult. Don't we all know that? Sometimes easier, sometimes not quite so easy. And then he says something that I have found to be very refreshing and very helpful. He says that it was only near the end of my embodiment that I was able to merge these two states very significantly, merging his divine individual into the divine collective. It was on the end of his embodiment that he was able to do this significantly. We need to hear these words again and again, because so many times in our lives, we just get so busy. Sometimes we feel almost overrun by life itself. And it's hard at times to keep our bearings in our daily living. We all understand the challenge at times. Thus, it is important for us to know the following two mergings that are essential to life in leading our divine humanity, that we might be a divine individual in a divine collective. A divine individual in a divine collective. So here we go. As I said, there are two mergings, and the soul, the inner you, that individuating part of you, is at the center of both mergings. Two mergings, your soul, the inner you, is at the center. Let's consider the first merging of the soul. The first merging of the soul is what I will call the merging of the soul upward. The merging of the soul upward. And it concerns the wonderful guidance that the soul receives as we are individuating here in material realms, as well as the role that each one of us plays as a part of the all that is. Let me explain. As we are beginning to clearly understand that we are not just an individuating soul, but rather our true identity is that we are a conscious soul spirit. We are a conscious soul individuating spirit, universal collective. While your soul self is the part of you that individuates in the world, the spirit part of you is what gives you the guidance to do so. The spirit guides your soul. The spirit guides you by giving you the universal principles and the universal values so that your soul's individuation is properly aligned. The spirit guides. The problem with so many people in the world is that they do not know, unfortunately, the higher wisdom of the spirit. They don't know that part of themselves. Thus, when their soul goes about its daily activities, they are simply guided by worldly wisdom, at least the worldly wisdom that they have acquired. Such actions lack the certainty and the confidence that you have come to know when you begin to listen to that spirit within you, allowing your spirit to be the guide to your soul. This spirit part of you has four very important aspects. Again, perhaps take some notes. The first, this spirit part of you is universal. It is universal to all souls. The spirit provides an eventual base for unity among all souls. This is so important to understand. The spirit provides a base for unity for all souls. While each soul will do its individual thing, the alignment of each soul with its universal spirit self provides a very powerful experiential basis for the unity of mankind. Many of us experience this unity in our groups and sessions of now creations. We feel that sense of oneness, of unity with each other. Although we express that unity each in our own individual ways, we understand that we fulfill these individual ways from the same spiritual energy. We have a unity in spirit. This sense of Spirit's universal energy cannot be overstressed. In fact, not only does the Spirit's oneness give a unity to humanity, but if someday, we discover that we are not alone in the universe, this same Spirit would be in other conscious souls as well, because we are all filled with the same universal Spirit as conscious individuating souls. Such an important thing for us to be able to know, especially if we will be encountering other life forms. The second aspect. Those of you who are studying A Course in Mastering Alchemy will notice that this oneness in spirit is also the base for the collective consciousness. This oneness in spirit is a base for the collective consciousness that we share with the Elohim, the creator gods of the universe, the lords of light who make the rules for the universe, the angels and archangels, the communicators, and of course the ascended masters. We'll talk more about them in just a moment. This awareness is helping us to realize that we are a part of a larger team of beings in the universe. This is quite a revelation for many of us and does so much to raise our human dignity. We as humans are not the dregs of the universe, but we are members of the team of conscious beings who are expressing in their realms as their individuality guides them to, just as we are expressing in our earthly realm. But we are all expressing from the same spirit. We are all individuating from the same spirit. We are all on the same team. We are all one in spirit. We are part of a collective unity of beings. This unity is far beyond the planet. Far beyond the planet. The third quality focuses on whose team we are on, and then the fourth will be in whose spirit we are. Let us now address the third aspect of our soul's connection to the God Spirit, the third upward movement of the soul. In a nutshell, all of us who are in awareness are on the God team, the God squad, as I like to call it. Let me explain. When one is simply in their worldly condition, it is very easy to conclude that I am just an individual human being trying to make my way in the world. We feel somewhat isolated and often alone. You probably have had this feeling many times. However, when you come to realize that your soul self, the inner you, is part of a larger team, things begin to change. You begin to understand that we have teammates. Now you might say to yourself, well, who are our teammates? Our teammates include all of the great spiritual elders. As I mentioned, the Elohim, the creator gods of our physical material realms, the lords of light, who set the rules for existence in material realms, the angels and the archangels, who are communication links between the planets, star systems, and galaxies, and the ascended masters, those who at one time were in human form and now have ascended like Buddha, the Jesus, Mother Mary. And there is a fifth member to the team. The fifth member of the team is you. The fifth member of the team is you. You are a member of the God Squad. Now you might ask, what does the God Squad do? The answer, it brings awareness to the material realms. Or more specifically, we bring heaven to earth. We bring beauty into form. We bring love into expression. That's what the God Squad does. Now, you might be saying that you didn't realize the importance of being a part of the God team, but you truly are. So what does this talk about you? What is it that you have in common with these seemingly greater spiritual beings? What you have in common with these seemingly greater beings of the Elohim, Lords of Light, angels and archangels and ascended masters, what you have in common with them is that you, just like them, have not left your source. You are still connected with your source energy, just like they are. You are in the same God spirit, just like they are. And whenever you take a moment to be quiet, to enter into that silence, you know that this is true. You have not left your source. You have not left your God spirit, just like all of the other seemingly greater beings. We have this one eternal tie to each other, namely our tie to our source. We are one team. We are the fifth member of that team, the God Squad, which brings us to the fourth quality of the upward movement of the soul. The fourth upward movement of our individuating soul is our connection with the universal energy that we call the Holy Spirit. Again, let me explain. Each one of our God team members has our own individual job to do. We have our own individual roles to play. The job, the role that we have chosen to do is to take on a physical body. Our job is to inhabit, to occupy the material realms in a physical body here on earth. While each one of our team members are fulfilling their individual roles, just as we are doing here on earth, we, just like them, follow universal principles and universal values that come from the Holy Spirit. All of our individualism of the God team is guided, directed by the one Holy Spirit. It is the Holy Spirit that speaks to all of the members of the God team so that we might fulfill our own respective roles. This same voice of the Holy Spirit speaking to everyone also speaks to you. And it gives you direction by way of your soul's intuitions. Just like all of the great beings, we have learned to follow the promptings of the Holy Spirit. That's what makes us great. We follow the promptings of the Holy Spirit. The voice you are now listening to more clearly than ever is the voice of the Holy Spirit, just like all of the other great beings. Actually, we are now becoming one of those great beings. Yes, we are, because we listen to the voice of the Holy Spirit. What distinguishes a great being is not the glamour of a role that they might be playing. We may not be the Elohim or lords of light, angels, archangels, ascended masters. What distinguishes a great being is the voice they are listening to. You are now listening to the voice of the Holy Spirit. And in doing so, you are taking your rightful place as a co-creator of the universe, just like the other great beings with whom we are team members. We are the fifth great team member, bringing consciousness into the material realms, because we, like them, are also now guided by the voice of the Holy Spirit. In conclusion, I hope that you have enjoyed this upward movement of your soul, understanding yourself as a soul spirit, understanding yourself that you are part of a larger collective you, understanding that we are members of the God team, and understanding that we listen to the voice of the Holy Spirit. Next week, I will focus on the outward movement of your soul, the merging of your soul with humanity. But just before we close, recall again the words of one of our members. I am showing up in the fullness of my life. I am showing up in the fullness of my life. The first part of that showing up, of that fulfillment, is the upward movement of the soul. The first merge. What fun to show up in the fulfillment of my life. What joy and what truth. Let me now take you into meditation, and what a joy it is to do so. Let us begin as we normally do by simply focusing on the breath, just breathing in and breathing out, and allow the breath to do what it does. Let it settle your body, reduce your mental chatter, and bring the inner you, your soul, to the fore. Please begin. And would you now simply say to yourself, here I am, here I am, here I am. And would you place your hand over your sternum? And as you do so, would you please repeat those words, here I am, This is the inner me. This is the inner me. This is my soul self. This is the part of me that individuates. And would you simply clarify that for yourself? Well, this is me. I'm in charge. And I'm free to do whatever I desire. This is me. This is the inner me, my soul. But now you're coming to understand that there is an upward movement of your soul. The first upward movement is realizing that you are more than just an individuating soul, that you are a soul spirit. There is a universal part of you. There is a guidance from your spirit to your soul. Would you notice this spirit part of you? The spirit is the universal realm that gives guidance to me. I am a soul spirit. And then you begin to realize that there is another upward movement. You are part of a collective consciousness, that the spirit guiding you is the spirit that guides all other conscious souls. Elohim, lords of light, angels and archangels and ascended masters. That you're part of a collective consciousness. That the universal spirit in you is the same universal spirit in other beings. This is a big concept to grasp. And if we find out someday that we are not alone in the universe, know that other conscious beings have also not left their source, and they are a part of the collective consciousness of spirit as well. Another very big piece of the puzzle. The third aspect of the upward movement of your soul. You are a soul spirit. You are part of a collective consciousness. The third aspect, you're a part of the God team, which simply means that each one of us is creating through the energy of the God Spirit. And each one of us has a role to play. All of the other great beings are playing their roles, but we too are great beings. And we are playing a very difficult role. We are here in a body. We're no longer playing the game of separation, but rather our part of the team is to bring heaven to this planet, Earth. We are bringing consciousness to our planet. We might say, well, what does that mean? It means that you do loving things with people in situations. You bring the heavenly consciousness to wherever you are. You bring joy, love, and happiness, strength, support, compassion. You bring beauty into form. Could be anything from planting a garden, appreciating nature. You're just part of the beauty. You're on the planet. You are a great being, fulfilling your role as a member of the team. You are a great being, fulfilling your role as a member of the team. And the last aspect, the fourth aspect of the upward movement of your soul is that as a soul spirit, you have now come to listen to only one voice, the voice of the Holy Spirit. It has now become your spirit. This voice of the Holy Spirit permeates you. It's what you most want to be. It's filled with light and love, and you so enjoy expressing it. You are the Holy Spirit, manifesting beautifully here on the planet. This is the upward movement of your soul. You are a soul spirit, part of a collective consciousness on the God team that listens to the guidance of the Holy Spirit. This is the light. This is the first part of being fulfilled. The second merging will be the expression of the light as love. As you merge your soul spirit with your humanity. Ponder this teaching and meditation. Let it sink into you and allow it to guide you.
Deep within, peace resides.
What a joy it's been to share with you the upward movement of your soul. I suspect right now you just feel very big, very, very spacious, as well you should. Next week, we'll do the outward movement. Now that we know the light, we will be into the expression of love. But let's not wait until next week. Let's be in the light. Let's express the love. What joy, what fun, what truth. Namaste, dear mighty ones. Namaste.